Alright everyone, we start off today talking about Donald Trump absolutely clanking on the Biden stewardship. Totally undercuts them. Huge egg on face moment for Buttigieg, especially since he came out like the other day and he's like, well, I'll visit Eastpalestine, when the time is convenient. When the time is right, I'll go there. When the time is right is probably many moons from now when the contamination level is lower. He doesn't want to breathe that air because he's getting reports, hey, the air smells funny, the water looks funny, it tastes funny. Things are all fucked up here. You done goofed, and so it's a contaminated area. Buttigieg doesn't want to go and risk his health by having to drink the local water. And as I pointed out the other day, if Buttigieg goes there, it will look awfully conspicuous when he's got probably a hip flask too. It's the Biden admin, of course, but a bunch of bottled water, smart water that he brings with him. It would look conspicuous when he's asked by one of the residents, hey, I ran this through the Brita filter. Why don't you take a drink? Hey, you look thirsty, gay Dracula. And then he's unwilling to do it. And he says, well, these extremists here are just grandstanding. There's nothing wrong with the water, but I'm not thirsty right now. Biden, meanwhile, he goes off to Ukraine. Trump goes to Eastpalestine. And not only does he go there, which is for a photo op, I mean, we'll admit this up front. He is going there for a political reason because it looks good. But it makes it look like he cares and the current administration literally doesn't give a damn. If I'm in East Palestine or the outlying area, and Trump comes and gives me a pallet full of fucking purified water and a shit ton of cleaning supplies so that I can, scrub down my home so the contamination level is at least reasonable. It's more tolerable than it currently is. If one person is helping me and the current administration, the other dude, is not doing anything, withheld FEMA funds for an extended period, finally freed them up only after Trump announced that he was going to be visiting, by the way. When the transport secretary who oversees rail spent 2 years not undoing the evil deregulations that led to the derailment, and by the way, that was Trump's fault, which is itself completely false. Those regulations did not impact the kind of train that was derailed there, so it wouldn't have made any difference, but that's been fact-checked to death already. The Krasensteins stubbornly sticking with their lie. I wonder why. In their case, it's not even a political ideology, it's just clout-seeking. They're the ultimate fame whores. But Trump shows up, he hands out supplies, he hands out water, he says, hey, yeah, there was a disaster here. I acknowledge the fact that some shit went down. It smells funny, your water's all weird and has oily stains in it, and the creeks are full of dead fish, and there's dead birds and shit around. Yet clearly it was a major disaster. The current administration's out to lunch, they won't acknowledge it. They have not acknowledged that this is a significant event since day one of the East Palestine disaster. Both local and federal government have downplayed the risks to the local community. So when the other dude shows up, the outsider, the one that wants to come back into office, shows up and gives out free supplies and then quips that it's Trumpwater, so it's superior quality, which is really good. It's very good memetics, Trumpwater, I'll tell the truth. Who am I going to prefer? One of them is at least helping me. I don't care if it's for a photo op. I don't care if he wants to shake my hand predominantly because he wants to get on the news cameras shaking my hand and handing me some bottles of water. He's still giving me fresh water for free. He's giving me cleaning supplies. Maybe I can scrub down my house before my kids get back there or whatever. He comes with little orphaned puppies and kittens to replace all the pets that had to die during the evacuation, maybe. Maybe that's his next step. Trump should do that. It should be the Trump Veterinary Association will come in and rehome some animals, including that turtle that died as well. I'm sure you can find one in the creek. There might be one that's still alive out there. We're not 100% sure. This is a massive own, though, for the Biden administration, because you're casting Orange Man off as he's out to lunch. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. But he's the one that showed up. He's not afraid of breathing those fumes for an hour or so, apparently. Buttigieg is. He says, well, I'll go there when the time is right. Well, when's the time going to be right? It's when it's been decontaminated, probably. So that he can go and say, look what a great job we did decontaminating the immediate crash site. Yeah, the creeks are still half dead, and the water still smells funny, but look, Buttigieg will get his photo op. It'll be right in front of the place that used to be a steaming pile of wreckage, and it'll be all cleaned up because Norfolk Southern will simply cart off the shit, repair that rail line really, really quick, dig out some soil, cover it over, make it look pretty with some shrubs. They'll plant them the day before, because in a week they'll probably all be withered, but it'll look good. It'll look good for the cameras. The Biden administration sitting on its ass, doing nothing, and Trump actually showing up, showing initiative. Who's going to be preferred in that situation? And he chose the perfect time to do it too, because it's risen up in the news. For the first week, there wasn't really a lot of coverage of the Eastpalestine derailment. So for a week, people were downwind as well. We're having like acid rain and shit like that. That'll impact communities outside of Eastpalestine, Ohio. It'll impact communities downriver from the immediate location, because it is near a major water source. It'll impact them. It'll impact people significantly downwind from the day that they lit up the vinyl chloride and the other chemicals that originally they didn't disclose were even fucking there. There were some baddies there that were worse than the vinyl chloride, I hate to tell you. That all went up in smoke, and then of course the fire will absorb a lot of that and render it inert. That's fine. Turning some of it into hydrochloric acid. That's a little bit less fine, but, a little bit of acid rain. It's good for those pine trees. When you have a dead forest sort of thing, like a red Forest of Chernobyl situation, stretching 100 miles into the border with Kentucky or something, people say, well, I wonder how this happened. Oh, wait. It exactly follows the pattern of rainfall immediately after that derailment last year. Who would have guessed that that's the case? Then a bunch of kids get leukemia, and the Biden administration will look even worse. Unfortunately, with the timeline, at least for immediate environmental impact, it's going to be before election season, too. Just so that Buttigieg is aware of how big he screwed the pooch. He should have gone there immediately. Goddamn transport secretary won't show up at a significant disaster site. Basically says, well, people who are pressuring me to go there, they're just doing it for political reasons. No, you're not showing up for political reasons. Just like Trump showed up partially for political reasons. Yeah, I think he cares about the people there because they voted overwhelmingly for Trump, so he feels some kindred camaraderie there. But yeah, part of it is political grandstanding. But what is Buttigieg doing by being absent? He doesn't want to go there and drink bottled water because he's not going to be drinking the local tap water, get asked hard questions that he doesn't have answers for, and even less does Biden want to go there. He wants to go over to Ukraine and play cowboy right now. Well, look at me, I'm a big brave man. We had him turn the air raid sirens on the second that I landed for literally no purpose whatsoever. Be interesting. Did any Ukrainian civilian in Kiev fall down the stairs trying to run to a bunker and break their skull, and that's Biden and Zelensky's fault? We'll probably never know. It'd be interesting to see those news stories in the future when the blue wall of silence over the legacy media, well, blue-bellied wall of silence in their case, is a thing of the past. Now, Trump completely owned on this one, and I would hesitate to say that there's anyone who can say that this isn't a major loss for the Biden administration. Weeks later, your opponent and presumptive GOP nominee shows up and hands out a bunch of water. You have done literally nothing. Well, our contribution is the EPA is helping clean up the site. Okay, well, that would happen with any administration. Biden doesn't get credit for it. That's an automated process. FEMA getting involved should have been automated afterwards, but you sat on that for several weeks till you felt the pressure of Trump arriving. It was within 24 hours of that they freed up the funding. You'll know. That's about all. Peace out.